And he was like, Muy Bueno Job.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. He was like, me own business. You do this for me business? And I was like, sure.
Well. Look who showed up in your podcast app again. It is Waiting to Dry.
Yay.
I'm Sergio Lopez.
I'm Joshua Lawyer.
And yeah, it's been a little while since we recorded.
We're fucking back, baby.
We hear you guys. Yes, kidding. Well, yeah, a lot of the reasons probably because I've been out of town for the last month and a half.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sergio. Aim hate towards him.
Yeah, I could take it. Vanessa and I went to Colorado. We've been planning that for half a year, I think, at this point, or at that point. And,
it was a surprise to us.
Yeah, it was a surprise to the listeners. Yeah, you being a listener as well.
Yeah, as in now, I'm listening to the episode.
Right. Yeah.
For row seats.
For row seats. That's usually my job, just to lay back and listen. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. We did all the touristy things you can cram into
Nice
this thing, and did a lot of painting. Did a couple of art shows while out there, and yeah, it was cool. We just pretty much packed every day with something, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool to actually live with someone other than my parents for a while.
Nice. Yeah.
But
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of things didn't go well, especially with my car a couple of times.
You guys drove there?
Yeah, we drove out there. Yeah. Yeah, we spent a lot of time just driving around and seeing a bunch of different parts of the country out there, the Southwest. Other than Nevada, where Vanessa's from, I don't think she'd seen a lot of that area. And she'd always wanted to go see Colorado. So we were pretty much in one of the best places to be central to a lot of nature and stuff that we're both into painting. So it was a good place to be.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So
so when you go vacation, or I don't know if this is considered vacation.
It was more like working remotely.
Yeah. But you said you jam-packed it with a bunch of activities. Mm-hmm. Is that how you normally do things? Are you pretty did you guys have a lot of stuff planned before you went there?
We had a decent amount sort of already thinking that we would want to do. But that's Vanessa's favorite thing in the world is just plan things out. So I mean, that works for me because I like when things are planned out for me. So I was just okay, yeah, let's do all that. I mean, it all ended up being fun for the most part, but
I feel like you're going to be the only adult who enjoys when someone changes their diapers.
Yeah.
Finally, I don't have to worry about pooping anymore.
You kidding me? I love my bathroom time.
One less thing to worry about. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of a combination of both playing it out beforehand and then just finding out what other cool things to do are around there and just be okay, let's do that this day. It storms a lot out there. I feel like California is the only place where it doesn't rain in the summer. So that pretty much will sometimes get in the way of things. But for the most part, we were able to do what we wanted to do when it came to actually coming up with things to do. And yeah, I mean, it was all new to us, so we just wanted to try and do everything we could while we were out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not really knowing when we'll be back in that area to see more other things that we didn't get around to doing out there. But I mean, I feel like we did a lot while we were out there.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys both like to go to like restaurants and things, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself like going to, I don't know, so when me and MJ went to Florida, right?
Right.
And I've never been to a Wawa's, but I always hear people talking about them.
I went to one of those before.
Yeah. I was not that impressed, but
Oh, really?
No beef. I mean, it's
What'd you get?
a sandwich. It was like I think it was like an Italian sub or something like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
maybe I'm ordering the wrong shit. So if you guys know, let me know. But
I mean, they're like comparable to like a Jersey Mike's or something, right? Aren't they?
I don't know what a Jersey Mike's is.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. But they're like fast food sandwich chain, like a tier above Subway.
Oh yeah, like
I don't know, like
what's the one that was around here and closed?
like a Togo's or something like that.
Oh.
I kind of compare it to like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I don't see the necessity in going to a gas station and buy a sandwich.
Right, yeah.
So I'm like okay with being like, I'll just go to the sandwich spot.
Right.
And most likely you can find a sandwich spot that's going to be better than what Wawa's is doing. But
Right.
I don't know. I got it, but I got the like appeal. This wasn't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't need to get my gas and buy a sub at the same time.
Sure.
But yeah. But
We,
do you find yourself kind of like trying to figure out, because like I like to go to like restaurants and figure out like that section. I also like to figure out like the shit that we just don't have here. It's like In-N-Out Burgers are a version of that, right?
right, yeah.
Like if you come from the East Coast, you're probably gonna go try In-N-Out Burger and be like, let's see what the fucking hype is about. Is it
Right.
any good? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
A lot of times people are unimpressed with In-N-Out when they come here.
and I think they're absolutely incorrect.
I believe so too.
I think they're just liars at that point. But yeah. And maybe that's what someone's saying to me about Wawa, but I don't know. Or
That could
maybe
be
there's
true.
something that everyone orders that I'm just like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know the meatball was the thing.
Right, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got the Italian sub at the Wawa when I went there because that's just my go-to sandwich. But I thought it was pretty good for what it was. Like, it was,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you said, it's a gas station at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
But now we have like gas stations attached to like Safeways. Do you know what I mean?
right.
So it's like, all right, well then, now they're just grocery stores with gas stations. It's really what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Also, on like in regards to In-N-Out Burger, if you guys try to come at us, I get it. The fries suck ass. I'm not into fries, and I know those fries suck.
Yeah.
There's a small percentage of people that love those fries,
It's true, though. Yeah.
but for me, I get it. The fries suck, yes, but I'm not talking about the fries.
Yeah.
But yeah. But did you guys like? Is that a part of like?
Oh, it's a big part of what we do when we're out there.
Yeah.
Just finding restaurants and stuff. And yeah, food outside of California, you just notice the difference. It's like even just going, but even just like going to the grocery store, it's like the produce just isn't as fresh here. Like,
oh wait, here?
No, I mean, like when you're out of
yeah.
town, you're just like looking at everything, just like, this isn't as good.
Yeah.
It just isn't. But yeah, going to the restaurants, like that was actually a big a thing that we talked about while we were there, because I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's just like Colorado Springs in particular, but like we found it really hard to like just order stuff to go, even like like calling in to place an order and picking it up. That was like way more difficult than I expected it to be. I don't know why, but like people weren't picking up their phones. Like it would just like go to like one place is just like leave us a message with your order and we'll try and get back to you. Like who's gonna do that? And so yeah,
It's wild.
yeah. So we ended up kind of having to go to more fast food places than we wanted to, just because we were just not used to like the convenience of what we're used to. I mean, we just didn't have the convenience of what we're used to here.
For sure.
But yeah, just overall, food wasn't as good. Like even like the best restaurants that we could find there were like, it's just like, I don't know, kind of more of the average, like, $20 plate type of food that you would get here. So, yeah, that was something that we were just like, we would miss the food so badly if we ever left Sonoma County.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just came back from Florida and I had a similar kind of situation. It was a little different.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, there was a large amount of the food that was just kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
But then the things that were good were very, like when it's like kind of obvious when you think about it. It's like they're going to have really good, like Puerto Rican food.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Or like
Cuban food.
Yeah, or Cuban food. Like those things where...
Oh, I bet that's hella good there.
They have a larger population of those folks that live there. So then you're like... So, yeah, you'll get like way better versions of that than you will here.
Yeah.
Also, there's like a huge New Yorker population.
Oh, okay.
And so with that, there was like a ton of Italians that lived there.
Oh, okay.
So there was like, it was like Italian food, at least in the area we were at, was like Italian food and like the Dominican kind of food or
right.
like that kind of region. In Central and Southern American food. But like,
interesting.
But yeah, we didn't even try Mexican food. We were like,
yeah. No.
I'm gonna fuck with that. It's not gonna be good.
Right. Yeah. There's like no real ethnic identity in that area.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, is Colorado got like something that maybe you would like?
Maybe like steakhouses or something.
You ever seen like the other thing they had was Asian food too. They had some decent Asian food. Our area, I think, has like the worst Asian food, and like weirdly, the Bay Area doesn't. The Bay Area has fucking amazing Asian food.
Right.
Sonoma County is like we just don't have enough like Asian folks that are like doing it good.
Yeah, we were trying to find like, that was one of the things that we were talking about. Like, what is like the food identity of this area? And you just couldn't figure it out. Like, we tried a bunch of different spots. There was like a pretty good pupuseria that we found that was decent. But
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like taqueria, but pupuseria.
I've never heard that before. I mean, I know like there's like places that make pupusas, but I've never heard it said that way.
Oh.
Pupuseria. It just sounds like poo-poo.
Yeah.
Poo-poo-seria. Which if you say taqueria, everyone's like, yeah, I'll sign up for that.
Right.
Pupusseria is like, I don't know what I'm signing up for.
Poo-poo says.
But I know there's like these maps where they'll lay out like outside of like the Americans that have lived there for generations, they'll show you like the biggest group of migrants to that area.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what Colorado is. I know like all like the Minnesotas and things have like interesting like have like German and like Dutch or some shit, like always like weird like random countries that you don't expect.
Right. That's a good
Curious
question.
as to what Colorado would be.
It seemed to me it was just like all different sorts of white was the main thing. Like not even that many Mexicans or any like Latin American people there. More black people than you see in Sonoma County, which isn't saying much, but but some native people. But overall, yeah, it was just like very white there. But
well, you're kind of a little like there's a comedian. Have you ever seen those what were they called? There was some YouTube channel, and Teddy Ray is like a comedian. He's like this big black guy.
Okay.
And there was like these other guys, and they go to like this white guy's Thanksgiving, and they're like very like proper, and I don't know if they were like Russell Simmons is the one that like funded this YouTube channel. And so, but there's like a funny part where they're like making fun of the turkey and how they just put like a thing of rosemary on it. And he's like, yeah, I put it on there for the flav.
Yeah.
Like, I put this leaf on for the flav. He's like, what flav, bro?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see how that could be brutal. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like some like, I always feel like barbecue, right, is kind of like the American like street food. Like when you go, when you think of like every like other country's foods, it's always kind of like the street foods that like seem to be the things that like we all gravitate towards, right? Like Mexican food is all like tacos and stuff like that, and it all seems like things can get really quick and on the street, and then like just all the foods are kind of like seem to be within that realm. And then we have like barbecue food, which is like the closest thing we have to, I don't know, food culture in America in general.
Right.
And then outside of that, there's really just like other cultures.
Right. Like Southern food is basically the only like real American food.
As close as we get to, I mean, even just barbecue in general, because there's different like Southern barbecue is different from, there's like different forms of that.
Yeah. We didn't even find that much barbecue out there in Colorado. I mean, we weren't looking that hard for it, but the couple of places that we tried, one of them was because it was right near our house, but it was actually like a chain that started in Texas. But it was actually like, because we tried two different, the first one we didn't even know was a chain. And then, but that second one we tried was actually pretty good for what it was. Like it was pretty cheap, but it was still like almost as good as like anything, like even like the best barbecue out here, which is not great either.
For sure.
Yeah, I can't even say like if there's any barbecue out here that I really like that much.
Kinfolk's the closest I got.
Oh, okay. I haven't been to that one yet.
Yeah, that's the best barbecue I've had in this area. But yeah. So outside of that, you got a ribbon. I seen that.
Yeah, I did get a ribbon. Yeah.
Congrats on the ribbon.
Thank you.
What else?
Vanessa's first plein air event as well. So that was an experience for her as well.
For sure.
So yeah, I think she was afraid that she was gonna be like out of her element there, but she did good. She was able to hang.
Nice.
But yeah, we got some of the smoke out there while we were like the smoke from the fires like out here like in Oregon and stuff actually like made their way out to Idaho while we were painting. So that was kind of weird. We were just like worried that we were going to come back to here being full of smoke, but it cleared off after a few days.
For sure.
And yeah, like there's something about the climate here that you just get so much more used to. Like everywhere else you go, it's just summer feels different. Like it's hard to explain why.
It's like, a little brutal.
I mean, it wasn't nearly like Florida levels, I'm sure, but no, there was always like, even like in Colorado where you're supposed to be like way up in the mountains, it thunderstorms so much so that there's always some humidity in the air. So that took a little getting used to, just like the elevation and stuff. Just feeling like out of breath all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you spent much time in like any like mountain climates?
Not that I played in Sonora. I played football up there, and that was, I know they have somewhat high elevation, and we're doing like a very physical activity, so that was interesting. But even then, I didn't necessarily feel it.
Right.
But yeah, we're supposed to go to Colorado in like 2 weeks.
Oh, really? What part?
Boulder.
Oh, okay. So that's like a little bit north of Denver.
How tall that is.
That I think it's probably like 6,000 or 7,000.
So I guess I'll experience it then. We'll have to paint a mural up there.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll be in it. We'll see how it feels.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That should be nice.
So.
But yeah, yeah, it was good to do a new event like that. It wasn't even something that we were for sure gonna do, but we like there were enough people who weren't able to participate, so we were able to slide in up the wait list. So we were both able to do it, and it was good because we both did well there, and sold a painting and then got that award. So
nice.
Helps pay back for that trip a bit.
Yeah.
But also we did a little thing through Judson. We were gonna do like a little open studio, and we borrowed his little studio there in downtown Denver, like right next to the ballpark. And that is not the place to try and sell your art when everybody there is just like trying to go to the baseball game, and we got like 2 people to look at our stuff the whole time, even though we were like right where people were passing through. But
was it all like landscape stuff?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, you guys should have started painting baseball players.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's true. But yeah, it was more of like a learning experience of like, okay, you gotta really like know
your crowd,
like, know the venue a bit more. But I mean, it was good to like have a little show to look forward to, like while we're out there, just so we don't feel like we're just painting for painting's sake, you know. And it was also good for Vanessa to get like a little bit more experience of showing her work as well.
For sure.
So yeah, even though that show wasn't like super successful or anything, it was good to like get all the stuff together and feel like, okay, what can I do with all this stuff now? Just thinking about what I can do with the paintings that I've already made, and then I'm already starting to prepare for a bunch of new paintings that I'm going to do in the studio with all the reference and stuff that I got there. So, so yeah, that's going to be good to like actually try and make a profit off of this like huge trip that we went on that just costed a lot of money just to be out there and not really have much to show for it at the end, like financially at least.
Right. But you guys weren't going out there with? Were you guys going out there with kind of that intention of like hoping that the art created there was going to pay for the trip?
Yes and no. Like I knew that like it wasn't going to totally make back everything, but you definitely like, especially when you're thinking of like the show and like the plein air event and stuff like that, you're hoping that you get some of it back, and we did, but just not nearly as much enough to like just on its own be enough to help pay for the trip. Like definitely got to keep doing more with it afterwards. Yeah, but that's just kind of how all these trips are. Like even when we just do the like, weekend trips, we just end up taking a lot of reference and doing some paintings too while we're out there, and it hopefully helps pay back like in the long run.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Well, that's cool. But you had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. We got to do a lot. We got to see a lot of different things, and like kind of seeing like what is out there as far as like, oh, if we ever need to leave California for whatever reason, like what are we in store for really?
What would your reasons be, Sergio?
Just being priced out of here.
I suppose.
Yeah.
That's always an option.
Yeah. But it's just like Colorado Springs probably isn't like number one place I would want to move to after this, but it's like, okay, I can probably be fine with a lot of different places in the country. It doesn't have to be like I'll never leave California or anything like that. Right. I mean, I would prefer to stay here.
You know, it's better here.
Yeah, it's true though. Sorry, guys. Sorry, out of staters.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Nice. But that was, I mean, that's kind of another big reason you guys went there in the first place, right? Was to kind of envision you guys potentially moving to another state, or even just I think living with
or
each
just
other.
in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Just living together in
sounds
general,
like-
seeing how it would go, and
Yeah.
for the most part, everything went well on that front. So
Yeah.
so
That's all right. Good. That's cool.
yeah.
It was mainly, yeah, this whole time was all Colorado, right?
It was Colorado, and then we spent a week in Idaho doing that plein air thing. So
For sure.
doing the event out there.
That's right.
So yeah, we stayed at both places were Airbnbs, and the place in Idaho was kind of weird because we were renting, or we were Airbnb-ing from these people who are like massive hippies, and they had this wasp nest in the stairs to go up and down the thing, and
Get rid of that shit.
yeah, but the
You
problem
need me to handle that for you? They're like, they're just living in an ecosystem, brother.
yeah, that's basically their attitude about it. I was just like, let me show you what your ecosystem is doing to my legs here.
You're like, actually, that's an invasive species. We're supposed to get rid of them. I'm like, we're all invasive species, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's more or less, they were just like, well, they don't bother you, or they won't bother you if you don't bother them. I'm like, that's bullshit, because they stung the hell out of me before I even knew what they were.
Yeah.
But
maybe like what he meant by bothered, you didn't realize. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, I did.
Like,
Yeah.
It was
I bothered
like the things you enjoyed. You know what I mean? Like maybe you were listening to a song they hated.
yeah. Right.
or the shows you decided to watch. They were like, again, this again.
Yeah. We hate Samurai Jack.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you just didn't understand.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I couldn't handle it. I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. And then like they would come like, they'd be like, hey, where'd the I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess they left. I guess they packed up and moved. They're not here anymore. I don't know. I guess they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fuck with wasp. I don't like them. I hate them. They fuck with bumblebees, so they fuck with me. You know what I mean?
Oh, do they? Yeah.
I think they kind of like, I don't know if they fuck with bumblebees, but I think because they're an invasive species, they kind of like, I don't know how to
Like crowd out.
In my head, this is what happens.
Okay.
Whenever there's an invasive species like a wasp, whoever's the closest thing gets bullied out of its position. That's just how I think of every single invasive species. I'm like, oh no.
I mean, that's more or less how it works, right?
I don't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I actually don't know how true this is, because it's not like there couldn't be both. You know what I mean? Like there's other insects. It's not like bees are the only insects in the world.
Right.
So why would wasp only be like, no, bees can't be here because we look similar? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is how it works, and I'm actually right. And my second guessing it is wrong. So
Right.
if anyone knows the answer to that, please let us know. It's super important. Yeah, I mean, every time.
This was another Waiting to Dry Science Corner.
Yeah. Isn't like every time they always talk about like an invasive species, they're like, oh yeah, the fucking frog came over and killed all the other frogs, or like,
Right. Yeah.
the carp is over and now there's no other
Oh,
fucking
right.
fish in the lake. Or, I remember I went to Australia and they were like, yeah, we used to have these kind of squirrels, and the American squirrel came and I was like, USA, baby. USA all the way. We fucked your squirrels up is what we did. Yeah, that's what we do.
I think they have like a huge feral cat problem in
No,
Australia.
they have a rat problem, like
Really?
like a plague of rat problem in there. So they would probably want a cat problem. What they actually,
I see.
they're probably forcing a cat problem. But I think their rat issue is like specifically within farming land,
Okay.
and it is videos of Sorry, videos of that are disgusting.
Oh God.
It's
bet.
just like the ground is moving kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, that's not the ground. You're not on mushrooms. Those are rats.
God damn.
Yeah. So yeah, if they do have a cat problem, they need to like have those two problems meet.
Yeah.
Then they only have one problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the squirrels, you know what I mean, winners. America breeds winners.
Right.
Although the carp, I think, is fucking us up.
USA!
Yeah.
USA! USA!
Family.
Oh, speaking of, like, I think everywhere but California loves the American flag.
I mean, I think California's like the American flag.
Not around here.
No, well, yeah.
You get side-eyed around here with the American flag.
Yeah, I don't care. I actually don't like flags in general.
Right.
So then I whenever anyone brings up the American flag, I'm always like, yeah, I hate all flags. I mean, I was like, I've told someone, I was like, yeah, I don't even like the rainbow flag. I just hate all the flags and the idea that they're supposed to somehow like represent a group of people. I think it's a crazy idea. But then I also get it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a weird thing. It's like, I get it. I just would not, like, I don't hate flags. I just, in my mind, I would never rep a flag. Mm-hmm. And I would never, like, fly a flag of any sort. Mm-hmm. But that's just because I think it's like it's a weird idea to me.
Right. Well, I never really had, like, a problem with anybody flying the flag until like I really noticed out there like the specific type of people who are like just like 4 flags on their giant pickup truck type of thing.
Yeah.
That's just like I don't have any problem with what the flag stands for. I just don't like that you're the one being the big proponent of it.
Yeah, there's always like I mean, humans are so good at noticing patterns. So
Right.
I always tell MJ, like, I think I might have said this story before, but like, there was, I don't really see them that often, but there used to be those fucking like metallic tribal shirts,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and guys with a lot of muscles would wear them.
Yeah.
And, and then so you make all these correlations and you go, guy with that shirt, douchebag. Right.
Right. Uh-huh.
That's what happens.
Right.
Done. And then so I used to
Like if that was a flag, you would know who was flying.
I mean, this is the same exact thing we're saying, right? Like this is the same conversation. It's like big truck, big flag, douchebag. That's like the correlation that gets me.
Sure.
So then I used to go and pay, and I used to have Metro, which I don't know if everyone's familiar with, but that's just like broke people phone.
Sure, yeah.
So I had Metro for I don't know, the majority of my cellular phone life until my work started paying for it. And
okay.
And I used to go and pay, and then so the person in front of me was like this very difficult lady for the I think she might have been homeless, but maybe not. And the guy who was the the one who was helping people out, he wore a douchebag shirt, you know what I mean? And I knew he wore a douchebag shirt from before, but I just go in, pay my thing, get out. And so this time this lady's in front of me and she walks up and he's like, hi, hey Becky, how you doing today? What's wrong now? And he like handles her better than I ever would.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, douchebag shirt don't equal douchebag. And so like I don't know, like I was like I just I get the correlation. I'm just like obviously there's gonna be the exception to the rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, people can love flags. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
If you got mad at me because I don't like the fucking rainbow flag, that's because you love a flag. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go ahead, love it. I can care less. I literally don't care. It just, to me, waving a flag is just a weird thing.
Right.
It's like any flag. I don't know. I just don't care.
You're just against the concept of flag waving in general.
I just think it's like a little silly. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get it in the Olympics, weirdly. You know, when they all go in circles and we have to define them.
Yeah.
See what country's competing.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's a perfect flag waving moment.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, to the obsession to wave flags. I think that's probably why I pull out the rainbow flag is like maybe the equivalent to. I'm sure there's probably some conservatives out there who are like, fucking people waving their rainbow flags, you know?
Sure.
And he's probably talking shit about those people in some certain way. And it's like, in my mind, it's like the same exact idea on opposite sides of political belief. And I just think, in general, I'm like, I just think it's weird to define yourself by a flag in general.
Sure.
Like, all right. Like you could rep your country. That's fine. You know, all of a sudden you start adding blue lines to shit. I'm like, all right, like all of a sudden that flag is supposed to mean like a political stance as well. You know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's like all these and I'm like, God, can we just breathe, folks? Can we just breathe? Like, we don't need, it's just land. It literally is like it's land with a body, with borders and a rule book attached to it. That's what the flag is. Mm-hmm. You know, and at its best, it is good food.
Yeah.
And art at its best. Yeah. And then the rules and all that nonsense is the thing that I just kind of
Food meaning like when a restaurant flies a
no, meaning
flag,
like
or-
if I think of like a country's flag, like I'm saying what a flag is a representation of a country for the most part, right?
Oh, okay.
And
see
so if
what
I
you
think
mean,
of
yeah.
a country, the best thing about it is going to be like the arts, right? Which
Yeah,
even
yeah.
food isn't attached to.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever music comes out of there.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Whatever food comes out of there.
Like that's a
whatever.
better flag than an actual like fabric thing.
No, what I'm saying is like that's the best thing that comes out of how we would define a country.
Right, yeah.
So if you're like a country is borders with rules attached to it, right? That we all agree to follow within those borders.
Yeah.
That's what a country is. But then there's also like the cultural aspect, which is
Sure.
at the
Okay.
best, it's art. So like, I don't understand what else, like what most people are like the dude with the big truck and the fucking thing. Like what he loves is like the rules, right? Most likely he loves the rule that says I can have a big ass gun. Like that's
Sure.
the rule he loves. That's my assumption.
Sure.
I don't, you know what I mean? Like the rules are just the rules. Like I've definitely broken a fair amount of them, and
Yeah.
and I think people should follow a fair amount of them. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, but I would never rep that. I would never be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I think like
Sure.
America, like legalize gay marriage. Like that's a rule I believe in. I would never wave the flag to show that. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I just.
And nobody would really interpret it that way anyway if you
But you could,
for it.
right? You totally could. It's the same thing. They're
Right.
repping a rule. That's what they're repping on.
Yeah.
Second Amendment. This is what I love about this country. Like I could almost anticipate what they would like. All the things that they would say, right? Associated with their big truck and their flag.
Right.
But that's because they love the rule. If I love some of the rules in this country, I could very well wave that flag and with the same exact reason as them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I love certain rules
Sure.
about this country, right? And that's what the flag would mean to them. It just seems silly to me, and it seems silly me explain. Right, like when I say that, it sounds silly to you. Even you're like, that's silly. Why would you wave that flag for that? It's the
Right.
same thing. They're doing the same thing.
Right.
It's silly. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No diss. If you want to rock a flag, I'm not. I also get people who are like military folks, and they rock it because they, that's their team. They were part of a team. And
Right.
their team was, the Dallas Cowboys, except for it was the American flag.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like dismissive of like the military or the crazy shit they do or whatever, but it's
Not to try to be dismissive of the crazy shit they do.
that's kind of what it. That's how it feels like to me. That they played for a team,
Right.
and that's why they rep it so hard.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what they try to do in the military is to get you all on the same, thinking all the same way, right?
Yeah, I think so. They need like order and
Right.
like for you to like kind of be obedient and
Right.
For things to be really structured and to have like structure and I think all that shit is just to kind of like say you listen to this person because they're above you in this thing,
Right.
and this helps you like understand. And I don't know. I'm sure there's people that love that shit because
Right.
that's how their brain works.
Mm-hmm.
I almost do the very opposite.
Yeah.
Like, you should listen to him. I'm like, no, I don't want to at all.
Yeah.
I want to do the opposite.
Right.
And I want to do what they're telling me to do, but now I don't.
I used to until they told me to. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how we got. Oh, we got him. Oh, because every other state likes. Yeah, I mean, this state does. You just got to go to like Central California.
That's true.
Sacramento.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
San Diego.
There are a lot of Sacramentos in this country.
Yeah.
Like towns that just reminded me of Sacramento a lot, or Central Valley in general.
I was in Florida. That was wild.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was painting.
Uh-huh.
I was painting and I was on a scissor lift. And these scissor lifts, the one I happened to be using was diesel fueled.
Okay.
And you had to have it running. You couldn't off it from the lift from when
Oh,
you were
really?
up high.
Huh.
So it was running the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, people come and they try to talk to you.
Sure.
Usually when you're on the lift, it's not as common.
Okay. Is it loud when it's like running?
It was pretty loud. Not crazy, but
Like you could still hear somebody if you're up on the lift or no?
yeah, but they'd have to be yelling or something like that. And so I'm like painting, and then all of a sudden I hear someone yelling, and I'm like, and they're like, "Hi!" So then I like turn. And some guy's like trying to get my attention, so I lower the lift.
Uh-huh.
And and then he's like, it's just like I think he was like some dude that just went fishing, right? Some like older white guy.
Okay.
And he's like, muy bueno job.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. And he was like, muy bueno job.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. And he's like, me own business. You do this for me business? And I was like, sure. And then he was like,
Like it was his wall or something?
yeah.
Okay.
He's like, you do for me my business? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then he just kept saying that. And then by the end, he was like, me come back and you give me your phone number. And I was like, yeah, I can give you my phone number.
Yeah.
And then like at that moment, he realized like he had the whole conversation talking to me in broken English so that I could understand.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, it like finally clicked in. Like I could like see his eyes be like, oh, he speaks perfect English.
Yeah.
And they just kind of walked away.
That's funny.
Good times. And the whole time I was thinking, oh, God, I hope MJ can hear this. Because she was on her own scissor lift. And I'm
Okay. Yeah.
like, I hope. Because the guy was talking loud and I was trying to talk loud so MJ could hear me. But she had her headphones in. But
Okay.
I was like, I hope MJ hears this conversation. It is hilarious.
Did you ever get his number?
No, he never came back.
I didn't think so.
Me neither. That's why I was like, yeah, because it's also one of those things where it's like I could be like, oh, actually, I'm from California. It'd probably be hard for me to come back and lose your budget. But I'm just like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, just
Sure.
yeah. Just can we move this along so I can get back to work?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that was a funny little.
That's hilarious.
There's a scene in The Office where the guy Dwight goes to find like a day worker.
Okay.
And he pulls up, and there's this white guy there. Everyone else knows not to go like with Dwight. So this guy, he walks up, and he's like, "Hello." He's like, "Are you a good worker?" And the guy's like, "Yes, me, muy bueno worker." And then he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" And he's like, "La Philadelphia." And we always are saying that. That line to each other. So when the guy was talking to me, I was like, "Oh, this is so good." Yeah, good times.
So good.
Might have been the highlight of this trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Florida was fun, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What made it fun?
I don't know. It was just.
Did you guys go to Disney World?
No. I don't see how. I literally could barely deal with being out in the sun.
Oh yeah, that sounded brutal.
Yeah, we were painting. We were waking up at 4:30 to get to the wall before the sun came up.
Right.
Even though it was still hot as fuck. I didn't know that nights were not going to be cooled down.
Right.
I thought we could maybe even paint all night long. But then you realize that it gets more humid at night, so it's even worse than in the daytime.
Oh, jeez.
It's fucking miserable.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but the sun, being in direct sun, was the absolute worst. So we would our wall would have shade from whatever sunrise was.
Okay.
Till about 2:00, but 2:00 we would have to stop early because 2:00, I think half the wall had sun.
Okay.
But then the other half, there becomes this weird thing with the light where it's hard to see what you're actually doing.
Okay.
Because the wall, any lump on the wall, will cast a shadow.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And it creates this thing where you're almost painting in the blind. You're I know this color goes here, but I don't know if it looks right. Or I think this color goes here, and I don't know if it looks right, kind of thing. And then you look at the next day, and you're like, fuck. I wasted time doing that. But yeah, super. But it was me and MJ. So me and MJ have been doing murals for, I think, a year and a half, going on 2 years now. And maybe even going on 2 years. Yeah, we're about to hit 2 years, I think. Because I think August was the one when we did this one here.
Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And so, so the whole time we've been working together has been tough.
Yeah.
In every job, we're getting better and better at working. So this job, it was a really smooth job for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really smooth. We had the last day of painting was our toughest day. And that was because I had to go and fix a bunch of shit I'm going to do. But outside of that, it was a really smooth job, which was encouraging and nice, because then you're not that doesn't carry on into our actual life.
Yeah.
MJ's mad at me because we yelled at each other on a mural job or something.
Right. Yeah. Is that just happening less and less now?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It's definitely a learning experience. So yeah, that was pretty nice to have. Nice. An experience. We're definitely getting better at that. Cooper, what was it? Not Cooperage.
Shady Oaks?
Shady Oaks, yeah. That was pretty good too.
Oh, okay. That was the one you did before going out there, right?
Yeah. And MJ, there was a couple times where MJ, ate a platter of nachos for lunch, and then she was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and nap. So those were like our arguments during Shady Oaks, was because there's like beer and food,
right?
And you're like, and so when you're on the when we're working, it's like, all right, we have to like not do both,
Yeah,
so that we can actually keep working.
yeah.
But yeah, we're getting there. It was brutal though. Fuck.
Just the heat and stuff. Yeah.
And humidity. Like the humidity over everything was
Yeah.
It was just like, there was some days where it literally felt like we were working in a sauna.
Yeah.
What are saunas set to? I'm curious because,
I actually don't know.
yeah, because I was like, it gets where you're like, where you start panicking about, can I breathe in this? Can I like actually breathe
Yeah.
right now? Which is weird.
Do you know what the actual temperature was?
It was from like the high 80s to low 90s, almost the entire time. I think it was like 98 was the highest we got, and that was actually one of the easier days because the humidity was like, I think 20 or 40.
Oh, okay. That's not terrible.
Yeah, and it was like, and that day we went extra long. We were like, shit, I could almost paint all day. I think we had a dinner that night with someone. Random Bay Area folks came and
Oh, really? Huh.
yeah, and we hung out.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah. It was brutal. That fucking like 80% humidity. It was like 88 degrees out. You're like,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
and the fucking like, it's hard to drink cold shit.
Really?
Like we had like a water, like a cooler full of water.
Yeah.
And you would like drink it, but like you're not like chug. Like let's say if you don't chug the entire water down, it almost feels like 2 minutes later the water is lukewarm at that point. It was weird. I started freezing water bottles, and they would thaw out at like a crazy speed.
Really? Huh.
And I was like, I don't know. It was wild. It was definitely a learning experience if we ever go to another humid climate to paint.
Yeah. What would you do different in terms of that?
Figure out a better time to go. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the least humid time?
It's probably nice there in the winter. It's like when people go down there.
Yeah, I guess like a month from when we left, or a month or two from when we left, is like really nice, or the nicest it gets.
Oh, okay.
And then the time we were there was like the worst time.
Yeah.
We know to pick them. You know what I mean?
I did a plein air thing in Easton, Maryland, like, I don't know, like 5 years ago or so. And it's like middle of July. And the reason they choose that is because no one wants to be there.
Oh,
So like
it's cheaper.
yeah. So, well, like they just like need something going on in the city, at that time. So like that's the only time where things aren't going on, so they can like slot that in there. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, that like it's 90 degrees, but it's also like 90% humidity. Sometimes it's just like, how do you do this? Like, I won't do it anymore.
Yeah. And you just sweat like so much.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was actually pretty fun though. I enjoyed like Florida. The cool thing about Florida is it felt like I left the country. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it feels, sometimes like you'll go somewhere and you're like this, like, you hear people talk about like going to like Mexico.
Sure.
And it being like an all-inclusive trip. And then they realize, oh no, I just went to like America,
Yeah.
but just like in a different country.
Yeah.
But Florida felt like I'm in a different country in my country.
Yeah.
This isn't like, the climate's super weird. Like the architecture and like the way the roads work seem to be different. Like everything
Really? Huh.
seems to be a little just like, oh, this is something new. It felt when I went to Australia. I don't know how long ago, but that felt like America. That felt more like the America that I'm used to than Florida felt.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. But yeah.
Did it feel like an island country to you or something?
Yeah, I mean, they have like tropical like plants and shit.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like, yeah, did I just like land on an island? That's, you know, I don't know. It felt closer to Thailand in a lot of ways than,
Oh, that's crazy.
Except for that everyone spoke English.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Muy Bueno guy probably saying Italian.
Yeah.
Did you guys fly out there? Or?
Yeah, we flew.
How do you like find like the I almost call them ingredients, the supplies and stuff that you need for it? Like, how does that work?
Well, Sherman-Williams is like nationwide, and we have like an account with them.
Oh, okay.
So like
So you guys can just go there and stock up like an art supply store, basically.
Yeah, so we just come to this Sherman-Williams in town, pull up swatches of the colors we need,
Got you.
and then figure out, or like roughly figure out the like minimum amount of paint we need to like execute it,
Okay.
so that we can, and we'll put in that order, and then their turnaround on like an order of paint is pretty quick. So if we're
Okay.
running low on something, we'll give them a call during our job and like, we need it. But then we bring our brushes with us.
Oh, okay.
We brought our projector with us to project. We bought a ladder from Walmart, and then we returned it
Nice.
because we needed something to put the projector on.
Oh, okay.
And so
That
we
makes
were
sense.
like, we'll buy this ladder, we'll never use it, and then we'll return it.
That's funny.
We did the same thing with an extension cord.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, this is our first time doing it where we had to figure out like all these details that we couldn't bring with us because we weren't driving. Like Oregon was out of state, but we drove there, so we brought all the shit with us. Mm-hmm. So this was the first time where we had to figure out. So we actually specifically bought like a luggage for like this scenario from now on, and we're trying to figure out like our exact bag of what we can fit into that thing. Mm-hmm. You know, like our camera, speaker, like a little like Bluetooth speaker, projector, like a couple of like really short roller poles, our brushes for our mural brushes, like all the like little things that'll make our life a million times easier. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, we're going to buy like, you know, like maybe like some, I call them roller pads. I don't know what the fuck they call it. I really need to learn the official name of like the thing you stick on a roller.
Oh, okay.
You know, we always call them roller pads. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I know brayers are rubber, but I don't know if that means like every brayer is rubber.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, those things, you know, just like a few things and then paint.
Yeah.
And the rest can be brought in one luggage. So that'll be like a $30 charge to travel with it.
Just like pay like a fee for the extra bag.
Yeah.
That's probably way better than
shipping
buying
all
that
that
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even shipping it out there.
Oh, yeah. That would cost a good amount, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. It should probably be something like 60 pounds. They'd be like,
Yeah. Goddamn. Yeah.
But yeah. And then all the paint that was left over, we hit up a local muralist that was in the area, and we told him if he wanted, and he was like, yep.
Nice.
So it was like easy
Oh,
clean
good.
up. Yeah.
Was he somebody you knew already, or were you just like?
No, there's this guy named Doss who he's in like the public art realm.
Okay.
We lose a lot of jobs to him. I think last year we were like, fuck. He made a lot of money.
Yeah.
He made like 300,000 or 400,000. Like,
solid.
oh yeah. And so, and there was like all these jobs we were going for, he was getting. Mm-hmm. So he did the wall opposite to like on the structure we painted. He painted the very like, I don't know, opposite side.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
And so Yeah, when the first day we got there, I think we put it in our stories, and he reached out and he was like, "Oh, excited to see what you guys do."
Mm-hmm.
Then he was like, "If you guys need like a helper, this guy helped me. He was really good."
Okay.
You know, like, and all these like, you know, I feel like artists are kind of like that in general.
Yeah, for the most part, I would
Yeah,
say.
if
Yeah.
you reach out and you ask, they'll probably like help you out or point you in a direction at the least.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave us a bunch of info, and that guy was one of the guys. He was like, if you need an assistant, but we didn't. But at the end, we were like, you want this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It was super fun.
How often do artists reach out to you, like, as far as like if you're going to, if either you're in the area or you say you're going to the area, they hit you up like, oh, I want to meet up and do whatever.
I feel like a good amount. I've already got like I think 4 people since we're going to Boulder. They're like,
Oh, okay.
I haven't even put it out there. I guess the people that are running the mural festival put it out, and they're
Oh,
like,
okay.
hey, you want to meet up? And I'm like, if I can. I mean, I'm down to. I was hoping there was a artist in Florida. She was like the Tampa area, and she invited us to a show, but we had dinner that night.
Gotcha.
With those people that were already locked in, or else I would have totally went to that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was probably much more my vibe of like, yeah, I want to get a drink and look at some local art.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, muraling is just so fucking exhausting. You work hard, and then if they don't meet you at the wall, then and they want to meet you somewhere, you're like,
Yeah.
I just kind of want to like get food in me and go to bed and
Right.
then wake up and go hard again.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we want to like come home.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love my home. I like sleeping in my bed.
Right.
I like my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so although I enjoy going to these areas, at the end of the day, I want to get home as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it becomes like, let's see if we can squeeze in maybe like 1 or 2 things outside of like eating at restaurants to like do,
Sure. Yeah.
you know, and then even then it's like we went to the aquarium. I could care less.
Yeah.
I could care less. Also, ours was better.
Yeah.
Ours was way better.
Oh, really?
They don't have a tunnel. You need a tunnel. You know what I mean? You need a tunnel you can walk through.
Tunnel.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I know
about?
what you're talking about.
Yeah, they had that fish, that dolphin, from the like dolphin tail.
Oh, really?
You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so.
It had like an artificial tail. It was missing a tail, so they built one for it.
Oh, really? Huh.
There's a movie. I never watched it, but I know there's a movie.
Oh,
Me
okay.
and MJ made fun of it when it was coming out. And I think they have a sequel. No diss to this dolphin. This dolphin was cool. But yeah, that was like the main attraction, was like see the dolphin from the movies who has the missing tail.
Yeah. Movie you hadn't even seen.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's also like humid as shit. I mean, like,
Right. Yeah, that's probably the wrong place to be in Florida in the summer.
yeah,
If you-
and the aquarium was like outdoors for a large percentage.
Oh, was it? Oh,
so
okay.
you're like, oh,
Well, that sucks.
I want to be in AC to look at fish.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like in the elements.
That's weird. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Like,
Yeah, there was like little like rooms, and when we'd find those little sections, like I could look at the fish now, I could pay attention now.
yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, it was hot as shit in the aquarium. I didn't pay for that. I mean,
Yeah.
my assumption was this thing costs this much to get in. It comes with AC.
How much was it? Like $60 or something?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
I think almost exactly that. So yeah, $60 for both of us. That, I mean, in total, that sounds like AC money. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it did not work out that way, and so we were like, let's leave.
How long were you guys there?
We're in Florida.
No, at the aquarium.
I think an hour.
Oh, that's it. Dang.
Yeah, it's funny. Maybe not even that. Maybe like 30. I don't know. I'm Joe no better. But we ran into the family that we new from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
There. Huh. And they were like, "Oh, we've been here for 2 hours." I'm like, 2 hours? Like, I can't barely. And we just got there when we saw them. I'm like, oh, I can't. I want to leave right now.
Were they just laughing at that?
The best part, the funnest part of the trip was the city next to Clearwater is St. Peter's.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And they have like a really good mural scene there.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, they run a festival, mural festival from there.
Mm.
So like the level of artists is like really high, and they're from like all over the world.
Nice.
And a lot of the artists that I like. So, so that was like nice. We got to we just drove around in air conditioning, and looked at murals.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think that's becoming a thing me and MJ's kind of like doing, because we did it in Portland and we had a lot of fun at that time. And this is the second city, no, the third city we did that in, because we did in Lancaster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And now this one, and so we're like, it's like, oh, maybe this is just a thing, because we just we didn't like the aquarium. We was like, let's get out of here. Like everything feels super expensive there, you know.
Right.
You're like how much for a stuffed animal?
Oh, right.
And like things like that. Like how much for a water? Cool. How much you have to pay for more AC?
That's funny. The zoo we went to in Colorado was like one of my least favorite things we ended up doing.
Yeah, I just want to leave immediately. Yeah, it's totally that. It's like, was it the same thing?
Well, we planned it out wrong in that regard, because we went after she was done with work, so that kind of limited us a bit in what we could do. It would have been better if we could spend the whole day there, but when we got there, it was like an hour or so before it was supposed to be closing, and so we got there and we were just like, oh, let's take the little, there's like this, forget what it's called, but it's basically like a ski lift that takes you up to the top of the zoo itself, and then we thought that you could just like make your way back down from that hill, but you actually had to take the ski lift all the way back down, and that already ate up like 35 minutes of the thing. So by the time let's go find the penguins and the hippos or whatever we wanted to see, and just go check those out real quick. But like, there was, I don't know, like 15 minutes or so before they were closing, and they were already like corralling everything back into the.
So wait. We gotta go back.
Yeah.
Penguins and hippos, is that a real answer?
Yeah.
All right.
They had penguins. We got to see penguins.
What I'm saying is, like when you go to the zoo, right? And and you're like, I gotta see.
Oh,
penguin and hippos. That's what I mean by is that your real answer?
Oh, okay. I think that just was like logistically the best way to go was like where the penguins and hippos were, because we would have been able to see the most amount of animals in that area.
I see.
So
I'm a much more of like a rhino hippo or rhino elephant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't even know.
Fuck with the elephants. Fuck with the rhinos.
Yeah. I can't remember if they even had those there though. It'd have been cool to see the big cats there too, but
the big cats are cool. Tigers are really cool.
Yeah.
Especially if we can get them during like a cool moment.
Yeah.
I mean, where they're feeding them or something.
Right. But yeah, by the time we got to the area, they'd already started corralling everything back in. So we're just like, where are they? I know. So by the time we saw like a couple penguins.
You don't get to corral the fucking animals until the gates close.
Right?
You sons of bitches. You don't get to fucking corral the animals. What are we done here? Are the doors closed? Then no. Leave the fucking animals out.
Right.
That is some bullshit.
Exactly. That was so
the
my
like
thoughts.
apes. That's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh fuck, I fuck with some like gorillas. All the great apes. Gibbons are fucking.
Yeah.
I love me a good gibbon. They are like the best shape of.
Are they the
bodies.
ones with the hella long arms?
Hella long arms?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just look cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just look like a bass player or something.
Yeah.
They just look
Like
awesome.
a cartoon character, yeah.
You're like, all right, you're cool, man. You know. Like, just think of a gibbon if he had a cigarette in his hand. It'd be like the
Yeah.
coolest animal in existence ever.
Somebody needs to draw that.
Yeah. A gibbon smoking. Yeah, that's. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good animal. Yeah, you corral the fucking gibbon before I get there. I want my money back.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah. Gorillas are awesome too. Last time I was at a zoo, the gorillas were getting into it.
Oh, really?
It was wild. The big dog was getting getting tested by the young buck,
No, shit.
and he flexed a bit. And it was like okay, but yeah. There was this one time we went to I think we went to the Oakland Zoo, and they have the I don't know what they're called. Like what's like the ape called? Like
Which ones?
like the ones that are like Michael Jackson's like.
Oh, like chimps?
Yeah, are those chimps? Is that
Yeah.
what they're called. Okay, but yeah, those ones they have them in the Oakland Zoo, right?
Okay.
And so you're kind of like where their floor is a little bit lower than where you're standing, right? But they have all these things you can climb on.
Okay.
And this like male chimp, he like climbs up this like telephone pole thing, right? And he's standing there, and the whole crowd is standing there, right? And everyone's like cheering and like making fun of him and yada yada. And the fucking chimp would jump off the telephone pillar, and there was glass and he would smack the fucking glass, right?
Oh my God.
And you could hear it from far away. That's the reason we actually came, because you could hear like this like doom, and everyone's like oh, and then that would draw more people, right?
Wow.
And then the fucking monkey, he would run up the pole, he would like start jumping up and down, and then he would jump across and slap the glass. And he did this a handful of times. Then all of a sudden you start seeing like the zookeepers, and they're walking the crowd to they're like quietly walking to like little crowds of people. They're talking to them, and you like see them start walking away. And so one of the zookeeper ladies, she like walks up to it's me, my cousin Alona, and his wife, girlfriend at the time, and I think one of my brothers, and she walks up and she's like, hey guys, just a heads up, if the monkey breaks through the glass, which he might, we have no way of stopping him, and he might kill someone. And we were just like, all right, I guess we're leaving now.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, okay. And we just like turned and left as fast as we could, because we were like, yeah, I don't want to be the person that dies from a monkey.
Yeah.
But
That's a brutal way to die, too.
yeah, but it's also a brilliant way to handle that situation.
Right.
Because everyone was just dispersing, and no one, like, when you saw it, you're like, what did she tell them? And when she tells you, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's why we should leave. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Holy shit.
But yeah, it was a good moment.
Yeah.
You won this time, chimp. But yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that's like, so you guys got to see penguins?
Got to see penguins and some guinea
Hippos?
pigs. We didn't even get to see hippos.
I feel like the hippos always let them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, oh, look, it's in the bottom of that thing. It's in the bottom of that lake.
Well, they had like
Guinea pigs. I mean, shit.
I know. I mean, they were still like the cutest thing we saw there, though.
God, that's disappointing.
Right?
Yeah. You got to ask for your money back.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
And we saw one zebra as it was being corralled back into the...
Zebras are brutal.
They are pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them. We went, we have Safari West.
Right.
They have zebras up there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're kind of like I guess you don't see them that often. At least that's what
really?
the lady told us. She's like, oh yeah, zebras are usually like kind of like off in their own little section, and they don't usually come close to the trail.
Oh, okay.
Those zebras were fucking each other up so hard.
Really?
It
Holy
just
shit.
looked like they were biting each other and kicking each other.
Damn.
And it looked like this was their normal state. Like they were just a bunch of Guidos being like, "Hey, bro, fuck you!" Like like they were just like, "You looking at me?"
Yeah.
Why I oughta, like a
Right.
bunch of that shit, and it was like. It was just like, whoa, zebras are not tame at all.
Like they should have been wearing the shirts like the douchebag guys.
Exactly. Yeah, they're out there flying their stripes and and trying to get lifted trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. If an animal was a flag, the zebra would be the zebra is that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
What else did you guys see at Safari West?
I don't know. That guy, that was so long ago.
Okay.
We still have like reference photos. We also like. I don't know if Safari West have cheetahs.
I think that's one of the main things they have, right?
Yeah, we went and did like the background stuff. So we like fed warthogs and
Nice.
and fed giraffes, and then like you get like to get real close to the cheetahs. So we have like where there's just like a fence in between you and the cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we actually like doing all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even though even though I talk shit about the aquarium, we went to San Diego. They have a really nice zoo there.
Oh,
And, we fed rhinos there, which
Nice.
was fucking awesome. We wanted to go
What do you feed them?
apples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're very similar to Mellow. They're like all over the place. Like, they're very clumsy, but
That's hilarious.
we actually wanted to go and swim with the manatees in Florida. That
Oh,
was, like,
really?
one of the things we really wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
But it was, I told MJ, I was like, I think I would have a panic attack because first we walked into the ocean, which first of all, their ocean is disgusting.
Is
It's
it?
beautiful and it's clear.
Uh-huh.
It's also the temperature that it is like outside. So it's
okay.
like disgusting. To me, when I want to get into water, I want it to be like refreshing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't want to feel like I'm swimming in spit, which is what it felt like.
Oh, God.
It felt like, you know what I mean? Like a little bit too hot to be lukewarm. It was like, what is this water and why would anyone get into it?
Okay.
Why, when it's like 90 degrees out, why would I want to be in 90-degree water?
Oh, okay.
So the swimming with the manatee thing, the thing that threw me off was like they said you had to wear what's it called? What's the swimsuits or whatever? The
Like a wetsuit?
A wetsuit.
Okay.
And I told MJ, I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I don't think I could be in this temperature
Yeah.
with this humidity.
Uh-huh.
Constantly swimming
Uh-huh.
in a wetsuit when wetsuits are like made to keep you like warm in cold water.
Yeah.
So it's going to make me even hotter. It's like I can almost imagine me getting like my first panic attack ever, being like, oh my God, I'm like swimming and now I'm sweating and now this fucking wetsuit is making me like overheat to the level that I just is like unbearable. So I was like, I don't think and then this like disgusting water. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe make cooler water. Maybe like, you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
make your water cooler, Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Did you guys see any gators?
No, MJ was like, oh, I saw a gator. I'm like, oh yeah, did you? She's
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure I saw something. I'm like, okay, all right. But yeah, we didn't see any gators. We saw one 24-foot by 70-foot long gator, but it was on a wall.
Oh, okay. One you created.
When I created.
Yeah.
But yeah, no gators.
That manatee thing reminded me of the story that I heard on a podcast where they're talking about this one guy like took acid or something and wanted to do like a swim with a manatee type of thing. And so he was just like, he was high doing the like swimming around and decided to like there was just like a manatee floating by and he decided to try and hug it. And when he did, it like literally like it dissolved, like it like kind of like imploded in his arms. And what actually happened was there was just like this old dead rotten manatee.
No.
Yeah. I heard that. It's just like, could you even imagine?
Oh my God. That is so disgusting.
Right.
I heard that's how a lot of people die, like crossing rivers in Africa. Is that there'll be like a rotting corpse of a hippo,
Oh, really?
and they'll be walking and they'll sink into the hippo.
Oh, no.
And they get stuck in there and they can't pull themselves out.
Holy shit.
And so you die inside of a hippo carcass.
That's the worst.
Seems like a horrible way to go out. Because like, assuming you have to like you're gonna drown to death, right? But like drowning to death on like decomposing hippo, it's like you probably also would throw up.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, that is. Yeah, that's a bad way to go out.
God damn.
But yeah, fuck, that would suck. I thought I was because I know manatees are super farty. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forget if it has something to do it serves a purpose weirdly. Like the fartiness helps them do like their gassiness helps them do something. I can't remember.
Oh, really? That's
I don't know if it
interesting.
lets them like float easily or some shit, but it has, but I think
wonder.
I think there's something like I'm very this is very loose science, but I think they're like one of the gaseous animals, maybe per body weight or something, which they're not even a light animal, so that's
Right.
but yes, I think there's a ton of videos of just like bubbles coming out of manatee butts because they're just constantly farting, and they have no aggression gene, so they don't like attack ever.
Yeah.
And they can't, even if they accidentally tried to bite you, their teeth couldn't actually bite you, so it would feel like a massage or something like that is what I hear. So like,
Weird.
so it just seems like one of the best animals that exist.
No. Sounds like it.
Yeah, if I had a flag, it would be them. That I would be willing to fly. It'd be the manatee flag. But yeah, it was good times.
Nice. Sounds like you guys were able to do a decent amount.
Yeah, we had 3 days. We finished 3 days early, so we were able
okay.
to like squeeze in some stuff. MJ wanted to do the Harry Potter, like Universal Studios out there, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Is that in Orlando? Isn't that still like kind of a decent?
I think it was like 2 or
distance?
3 hours.
Right. Okay.
And we were tinkering with the idea, but it was just being outdoors.
Yeah.
Because we were outdoors the first, I think, day off. We went to this thing, and it was just uncomfortable. You're like trying to find places to go inside just to like take a breather. And you're like lingering where you can find a breeze, where you can find shade. It just sucked. And so it was like, all right, we don't want to get stuck in like feel obligated to be like at an amusement park for like, because I feel like those feel like you want to like, because of the price, you're like, we should be here all day.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I can only imagine. It's like, it wouldn't even be fun. It would just be like, all right, we're sweating and looking at stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a big goer of rides. MJ doesn't like going on rides.
Oh, okay.
So like, we're just going to like spend money on like tchotchke things and we're just gonna like look at things. I don't know. It's not my. I don't like that kind of shit. So I was trying to talk her out of it. She was talking me into it, but the weather decided
Yeah.
what we did at that point.
It's going to be all outdoors too. Yeah.
I think so. Maybe like little shops here and there where you go in, but I don't know. Like, I assume, do their winters get cold? Do you know? Like, are they cold or are they
I don't think they get really cold at all. I think it just gets down to like 60s and 70s at the.
That's their winters?
That's their winters, yeah.
Fuck. God, yeah. Guess that's the time to be there, huh?
Right, yeah. Well, that's why people go down there from the East Coast or whatever. But yeah, that's why like Art Basel and stuff like that is at that time.
Huh. That makes sense. It's like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't know. I never know. With all like the taping of bananas, you just
Yeah.
assume that there are a bunch of idiots out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess there's a couple people know what they're doing. All right, that's cool. I feel like we haven't talked about shit at all. Telling people about our vacation.
Yeah.
Could there be anything worse? Did you have any, or what are you up to? I guess we should. I feel like we just talked about ourselves for an hour and a half, and we're like, now what else?
Yeah. What else am I going to say about myself?
Sorry. Hope the next episode we'll talk art.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, this week I was talking with somebody from the Healdsburg Art Center about possibly doing some ongoing gouache painting classes up there. So that's a nice little development for me. I mean, it's pretty early in the development phase, but it's probably just going to be like a weekly class. It'll just be a nice little thing to make a little bit of money from doing. So that's probably really the only new thing that's come up as far as
Do you have any art shows coming up?
not really. Yeah, this year was kind of I didn't really even like get hit up about doing very many art shows. Like normally by this time of the year, there's usually something going on, but other than like the usual, just like showing landscapes at the gallery in Duncan's Mills, that's pretty much the only art show that I have coming up. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't really like been trying to put myself out there as far as like trying to get like new shows and stuff, but I figure that's what I'm going to do with the stuff that I paint from the trip is put that out there and maybe submit that to shows, but that feels like more of a probably looking toward next year type of thing.
For sure.
But yeah, just trying to keep getting the word out about like my gouache course and stuff. That's pretty much what I've been focusing on career wise right now. I just feel like once I should just like zero in on that and try and like really see what the potential is there as far as like what art teaching can get me career wise. I feel like it's starting to open up more doors. Like the more I focus in on it, more people start to recognize me for that. And it seems to be working in my favor in terms of like getting a more consistent, I guess, more consistent money coming in. So that was my intention about doing the teaching stuff anyway. So
For sure.
I'm glad that's starting to go more that route.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. The only thing I'm not understanding is why is it specifically gouache?
Oh, well, it doesn't necessarily have to specifically be gouache, but that's just what I've been focusing on the most. And right now it seems like that's the thing that people are gravitating towards anyway. It's just for me, I just find it a little bit easier to stand out in gouache than like being like yet another oil painting course out there.
I see. For sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's, I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, if I mean, yeah, I think teaching has been like a direction you've been at least tinkering with going in. So,
Yeah. And I'm just trying to,
that makes sense.
yeah, just trying to like really double down on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that will work out better for me than trying to like chase show after show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for sure. Shows are not going to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah. It just took me too long to realize it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a potential pathway, but it is a hard and pathway. And it's almost like a pathway you have very little control over.
In some ways, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, that's all right. I have a show tomorrow, so
Oh, really?
this will be out by then. Modern Eden
Oh, okay.
show.
Oh, all right. What's that, like Art of Art or something?
Yeah,
What was it
Art
called?
of Art.
Mhm.
It's Michael Koof. I don't know how you say it. Koof.
Oh, Koof or Cuff?
Cuff. Yeah, that's probably actually correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's he curated it.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Are you guys going out to the show?
Yeah, we'll go out to the show, and then Amanda Lynn has a show at Lunar Inn, so we're gonna try to make
okay.
it to that one as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, if you're there, I mean, the show already hasn't come out yet. So, hey, good seeing you, Van.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, it's weird because I feel like I have a hand. Like I'm not trying to do any shows, but I have like, I've for some reason committed to too many shows up until the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
I think I have like 5 shows.
Really?
How many months are left at the end of the year?
There's only like 4 months left. In the,
Motherfucker.
holy shit! Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're doing murals on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many more murals you got planned for this year?
I think 4, maybe 5,
Damn.
or maybe 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, everything can always get pushed down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I know. I gotta like not leave my studio or the wall
Yeah.
for probably the next 4 months.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. I signed up to this do this show for Nucleus Portland,
Oh, really? Cool.
where they're doing like an Inktober thing, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
right.
fuck, now I gotta like figure out how to like.
What do they want you to do for that specifically?
There's, I didn't know there's like a person that's like attached to Inktober. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah, the person who like actually started it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we joined up with him and we're doing a Inktober thing, and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
But then I'm not like, whenever I did Inktober, I would do like 3 drawings maybe that month, and they would all be like really quick ink drawings, but they were like almost like not really attached to like my work. And now I feel like, oh, now I got to figure out like how to do like ink drawings with my work. So I have a strategy, which is I'm going to big pen it.
Nice.
That way, it'll be very similar to. I used to use Big Pen a shitload when I was younger,
Oh, okay.
and I used to like it because it's very similar to pencil.
It is. That's what I like about it too.
Yeah, and so I figured, all right, well, I'll just do like my sketches, but with a big pen.
Nice.
So that's my cheat.
Yeah. What color big pen?
I think I'm gonna see if I can do some red,
Yeah.
because I remember I used to like red big pens, and I like blue as well. So I might play around with those too. Yeah. But yeah, that's the show where I'm like, oh fuck, because it's like the least confidence I have in the shows. The other ones are like,
see.
I think I have to paint on the skateboard for a minute show.
Oh, really?
But I'm
Nice.
like, that's just painting. And now that I do murals, it's like that like long fucking shape doesn't seem so intimidating to me. But yeah, all the other ones are just paintings. But that one's the one where I'm like, all right, I got to make sure I can actually do something that feels like what I would create.
Yeah.
Have some kind of, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but yeah. That shit is not always seamless when you have to like play around with a medium. Either you're not too comfortable with or you haven't used in a very long time. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll
I
see.
totally agree.
We'll see. Hey, look, that was a little hard talk. Are we done here? Do we do it? I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
Unless you had like any sort of topic you wanted to
I've
bring
been
up.
doing Paint Guide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been checking that out.
Yeah, that's
I was
been
curious
fun.
as to like what you would choose for your paint guide
Yeah,
artist.
it's definitely a weird one because I feel like it's not just like first of all, I'm not like the most well, you guys all know that I don't know shit about art history. So there's that, but like I know like there's the artists that I like and I don't know anything about their history.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, to be honest, I don't even know if that's a part of what Paint Guide does. I think they do like little, I might be wrong. Maybe they do like where they post the thingy and then they talk a little bit about the artist. But all I've been doing is talking about what I think the artist is trying to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't actually know because I don't know shit about the artist.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is what I get from their work, which is really interesting
Right.
because then like,
Well, that's what I liked about reading the little blurbs you wrote because they all just were about like why you like them, basically.
right. And what I assume their intentions are, at least what speaks to me and what I pick up from it, it might not be that at all. Right. And there's definitely parts of it where I'm just like, it's just me, what the fuck's the word? Reflecting or whatever.
Sure.
My own like experiences or whatever off them. So there's that interesting thing of like in general, that's what art is, right? Is like I get from the art what I get from it based on a lot of times based on my own experiences, my own what is created, what I consider taste, things like that. And so, but it's always interesting when you get something from an artist and you're like, oh, this feels like this is, and then there's some like, I don't know, it's not necessarily validation, but it's like, oh, yep, that is what the thing it was. And then you're like, oh, that is cool. Cause like you get that from it. I think there's a part of artists that like almost wants to flee, that almost wants to stay away from intention because we go to like, the art means whatever you want it to mean. That whole like spiel people give. But to me, this is a much more like, this speaks heavily to like why you put intention into your work. Because then when someone says like, this is what I get from it, and then you're like, that's exactly what was the intention. There's like, it hits harder. At least to me, that's how I feel. I mean, like, so yeah. So that's been the interesting thing with this because, yeah, I think artists kind of saying, the art is whatever you want it to mean is a cop out. And at the same time, it's true. Like there's like that weird, it's that weird thing where like, that's a cop out if the artist says it, but it's actually true. I think it's a cop out when it comes to like why the artist created the thing and like what their intention was when creating it rather than understanding, like the viewer is getting from it whatever they get from it, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have intention in your work.
Right.
But yeah, so even though it's not my intention to like pick artists who I'm like, oh, this was their intention or this is what I get from it. It just seemed to be like this natural thing where I'm like, these are my favorite artists and this is why. And then even if it's not why they created it, there seems to be even just like a similarity in the people that also seem to geek out on the artist I've chosen.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
Okay.
this is why I like it too. Or even if they add to it and they're like, oh, but these things too, then I'm like, yeah, I like those things as well. Like those are also very important to why I think this artist is worth mentioning.
Right. Did you go back and like read the comments and stuff that people wrote?
Yeah, I've been trying to read the comments. It's tough to like reply, at least to me, because it's like, I don't know. There's a weirdness of like replying as like a page that's not me. So
Yeah.
There's that, and then there's like, it's just a lot of work too, and I've actually been extremely busy. I should have seen if they could have pushed it maybe like a week, and then I could have had a breather.
Oh, okay.
So it's been hard for me just to get 2 posts off a day.
Oh, really? They want you to do 2 posts a day?
They were like 2 to 3 a day, and I
Wow.
was like, fuck. All right, let's see. So I'm like, because it feels like all these like tiny little essays I'm writing with it. So I'm like, let me like think of what I'm gonna write. So I have all these like artists I want to like choose, and then I'm like having all these like little mini essays in my head of like, oh, I should like have this one be about this thing or that thing, or
Sure.
So yeah. So I still have my post I'm gonna do today. I think I'm gonna do Norman Rockwell today.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna write something about artists, or like I don't know, something about maybe hipster mentality or something about wanting to highlight artists that no one's ever heard of. But sometimes the hits are the hits for a reason.
Right,
It's my mini essay I'm playing in my head. I'm writing.
Nice. I
So
see.
we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Norman Rockwell I think is up today, and I'm not sure who else I might write about. But yeah,
Who do you think is the most like quote unquote hipster artist that you've highlighted so far?
I don't know. I haven't done that. I don't think I've done that. I've been trying to like, but I got that like when they asked me to do it, my like first instinct was like, who did everyone else post so I don't post that person?
Sure.
And then I like immediately saw it and I was like, that's a silly idea. I'm not gonna like, don't look at who everyone posted. Just like pick who like you think are good.
Right.
But that's why like with the Norman Rockwell, I was like, oh, there's that instinct. But I didn't act on it. I'm just trying to figure out like who I think are like really good artists.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, they all seem pretty like good for their, like they all seem like they're doing all right. I don't know who's the least. I don't know. It's tough too, because it's like maybe Eliza is, but she has a massive following.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe Ashley Wood is. I don't know, but I don't know. Like in certain circles, he's like everyone seems to know him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And then-
Totally. Like
then-
comic book people know.
and then there'll be a huge blind spot to others. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone falls into that category.
Yeah.
Like Twist as Barry McGee. I mean, I don't know. Like to me, he's like as big as it gets as an artist of our time, and but that's how I see him. You know what I mean? So
Right,
like, to others, it might be like never heard of him or
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm like all right, yeah. No, I just don't. I don't know how to like. I don't know, but it was just that instinct of like, who hasn't been mentioned yet.
Yeah.
That I think is what I want to like write about with, because there was that like there was also like an instinct with Rockwell where I was like, should I do him? Like I don't know, he's like he's so well known, but it's like I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, he's on my list. You know what I mean? Like I love his artwork, so I'm gonna fucking write about him.
Right.
If the question is who inspires me, which I suppose that's what the whole page is about, then
Sure.
like, he should make my list. I don't care if 100 people posted him before me. The person before me posted, they did a lot of hipster shit.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that. Yeah.
They also posted like 90 posts.
Oh really? Jesus.
I was like, what the fuck? This person just did nothing but post. So,
Yeah, maybe.
but yeah, no diss to them. It's just I could never keep that pace.
Right.
I'm like, just try to. I'm like, fuck, I gotta do 2 a day. How do you do like 10 a day?
That's ridiculous. Like,
Unless you're GSun 707.
I don't know who
Shout
that is.
out. Well, maybe look into them, Sergio. Maybe do your research if you want to find the most prolific rapper in the Sonoma County area.
Okay.
Uh,
On it. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. But yeah, that's been fun. It's been fun doing that.
How much more days do you have of it doing it?
I think 2.
Okay.
I think today and tomorrow, but I might be wrong. I was like, I got to look into that. I'm so fucking
Yeah.
bad at this kind of shit.
What do you think you've gotten out of doing it?
I don't know.
Do you feel like it's worth doing though?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed there's something about like this podcast, right? Which is like, there's something about saying your ideas out loud that help you work them out. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And the same thing exists in writing. It's like the same exact thing. It's like if you say it out loud, all of a sudden, like these ideas that are kind of like half baked become like fuller ideas.
Right. Yeah.
And the same thing with writing, right? You like write things down and then you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's way more clear now that it's put on paper, rather than just like jumbled in my mind somewhere. So like, that's been kind of nice to like do that, to like do this, like to like point the finger to the artist that I really enjoy and admire and kind of like talk about why I actually like those artists and how they influence me. I think helps me like really kind of focus on maybe like the through line behind them all. Like it's interesting how like illustrative every artist seems to be in some capacity. Do you know what I mean? Like there just seems to be like a through line of like illustrator feels, of some sort.
Yeah.
Like an appreciation for like a line work of some sort. Like there's like these interesting, like this weird grittiness that I just seem to enjoy. Like
Right.
all these like through lines that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Now that I'm having to write about them, and then it seems like these similar words seem to keep popping up when trying to describe each of them, and you're like, oh fuck, does my vocabulary suck, or like, just probably a yes. But also like, it's interesting how common like I think about all these, or the common things that draw me to all these artists. So yeah, I mean that.
I see. Yeah, but that's a good reason to do it.
I mean, it's kind of like this podcast, right? If I was to ask you, like, is it worth doing? It would be like this, yeah, but like not in the way you probably would think.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I've got some Instagram followers from it, so that's always nice. But like,
Nice.
that's definitely not, the end all be all. It's just, it's more like kind of figuring out more about yourself, I suppose, and
I see.
solidifying like things that you might not have solidified before, as far as like ideas and
Right.
and things that appeal to you and narratives that seem to be bubbling up from the artist that you like and things like that. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool. I feel like that's a valid reason to want to do it.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I only brought it up because I was like, if anyone's come here listening to that, I apologize for not talking about art. But we can, you know what I mean? If you made it this far, talk a little bit.
I figure the people who are still with us want to know like why we haven't been posting.
Maybe I'm just like, this is me. Like I just don't care about, like, I don't want to tell people what I've been up to that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, like, if someone tries to tell me, it's like if someone tries to talk to me about how cute their kid is, it's like, I don't hate your kid. I'm sure they're cute. I just don't care.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so it's me like empathizing, or I don't know if that's even empathizing, with the listener, being like, did we just tell you our vacation for an hour? I'm sorry. Like, the fuck. But maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's just.
Well, at least you gave them the highlights.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Muy Bueno Job.
Yeah, I know.
That's a solid story.
Right.
But yeah. I mean, I think it was inevitable, anyways. I mean, we haven't done one in so long.
Right.
I feel like there was so much in between the last one we did and now that.
Right. There's probably stuff that happened before I even went out of town that I just forgot until that even happened at this point.
Yeah, 100%. It's weird. It's weird, this world we live in. I feel like every 2 weeks is like its own little like mini journey. Do you know what I mean?
You mean like
oh, that was 2 weeks ago? Fuck,
Oh,
it
right.
felt like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
You know how many times? I feel like everyone has said that in the last year. Too many times.
Yeah.
It's like every fucking, I don't know. It's like every 2 weeks felt like its own little soap opera, or its own little dramatic episode of, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, especially when you do a road trip like that, it's like that first week we were traveling felt so far from the week we drove back, like, and all this stuff happened during our drive there too, even, and like I was like, oh yeah, that was this trip.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I was like, there was like this weird, I had this like weird thought that I was going to die during this trip.
weird.
And I was like, well, what happened was right before leaving, right, packing and everything,
Okay.
and right before going to sleep that night, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hop on TikTok real quick.
Yeah.
And I like hop on TikTok and I watch only one video. And the one video I watch is of like this crowd of people, and they all have like these like motorized airplanes.
Okay.
And it's like maybe like 100 of them. You know what I mean?
100 airplanes?
Yeah, 100 people with 100 airplanes.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
they all like at once throw their airplane in the air, and they're all like controlling them, so they're all like flying around.
Oh, these are like remote control.
Yeah,
airplanes?
remote control
Oh,
airplanes. And they're all like flying around and stuff.
Okay.
And then the video ends where it like zooms in, and then there's like two planes and they hit each other and fall. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, it's better not be a fucking omen. And I'm like, I got to go to bed. So I like turn off the thing and I go to bed. And then I was just like, fuck that video. So then when we take off, right, I'm like, oh, fuck, hope we don't die on this flight, because then that would suck. That would be like the last video watched by Josh Lawyer is a fucking or whatever. So then, we fly, we land, and then the whole entire trip, MJ, and I am not superstitious or any kind of, I mean, I guess this proves that I shouldn't be superstitious because it didn't actually play out that way, but MJ has like these crazy like deja vu moments, and in my mind I'm like attaching it to like this omen. I'm like, oh, we had an omen, now we have like MJ the whole entire trip, she's like, this is deja vu, this is deja vu, that's deja vu, everything's fucking deja vu, right?
Okay.
So then the entire trip, I'm just like, I'm driving a rental. I'm like, don't crash the rental. Don't die. Just keep, be safe. Yeah. So then we do the job. Everything's good. And then we get back on the plane, right? Flying back to the greatest state in this country, as we explained earlier, based on food.
Yeah.
And so we like get, and we're like, right. So we're flying, and we get like right where we're like, oh, there's SFO. Like we could see it right out the window. There's SFO. We made it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we're coming down, and then all of a sudden the fucking airplane just fucking starts flying up like crazy.
What?
And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And the pilot hops on the thingy and he's like, sorry about that. We hit a couple birds and there was a whole flock of birds. So I pulled up to make sure we didn't hit any more. And I was like, this motherfucker, like, we're going to die. Like, I was right the whole time. And so, because one thing I know is like, a huge percentage of like plane crashes are like caused by birds. Remember like Sully?
Oh, right.
Like
yeah.
his whole thing was like the bird thing. So everyone
Yeah.
was like a special shit.
like
Like,
a
you know, the
goose or
fucking birds,
something, yeah.
right? You know, the birds cause So like when he said that, I was like, oh, fuck, birds? I was like, oh, goddamn. And so like, that's why a lot of planes crash landing and taking off, I believe.
Oh,
I might be
okay.
wrong about this, but so when that happened, I was like, fuck. And so we had to do like a full lap around, like an extra lap, you know, because once you like pull up, you can't just like, never mind, go back down. You have to like, so he took a whole lap around. And the whole time I'm like, oh, God damn it. Another plane doesn't know that we're doing the lap. And then we're going to hit the plane just like the other plane in the video on the TikTok. And then we're going to die. And then, but yeah, we landed rough. Like,
Oh, really?
like a little wonky. You know what I mean? And then he broke real hard. And I was like, fucking hell. And then I don't know if he had just take a real hard angle or if SFO. I don't know. Maybe like SFO domestic has shitty like shouldn't be landing strip. I don't know. But then, and then he had to take a left. Like he had to like turn, and he was going extremely fast, and he was like turning, and I was like, ah, oh, god damn it. But yeah, we ended up okay. We had a big fine.
Yeah.
But
You're here in one piece.
but yeah, that was. Don't watch TikTok before you go.
Yeah.
Don't watch TikTok. Also, like they had the red tide there.
Oh, okay.
So like it was like death was all around us. Do you know what I mean? You know what
Yeah.
red tide is? It's like
Kind of. It's like an algae thing.
Yeah, and they have like a huge die off of like aquatic life
What's this? In Florida or here?
in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So like in that area, like in that specific area, they were having this huge,
Oh, okay.
and it was like national news where they were like
No, jeez.
a tractor was like picking up a grouper and having struggling with it because the grouper was like massive.
Really? Holy shit.
But yeah, so they had death all around us the whole entire trip.
Yeah. Well, he came back here and there's toxic algae in the river too. So,
Is there?
yeah.
Nice.
So don't go floating in the river anytime soon.
Yeah. Or whatever you do, don't watch TikTok. I'll tell you that. That shit will fuck you up for an entire trip. And it weirdly, I feel like it's one of those things where like your phone picks up like things you say
Yeah.
in some sort of way. I don't know exactly how. So like, yes, I don't know if it was like planes. Let me show him plane crash videos or like, you know, and then like because we were going there, like a lot of like the red tide videos would show up with like all the dead animals. And yeah, it's just like, don't go on TikTok right before a trip. They're going to fucking kill your buzz or whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to like, you're going to Japan, all of a sudden Japanese like tsunamis are going to show up in your feed and shit.
Right.
You know, so just a pro tip for all you travelers out there.
What if it's just like some viral marketing thing for like the next, what do you call it? What are those final destination? Those things?
That would be genius. But how big is that fucking Final Destination budget to be able to
I know, right?
like marketing budget is like
Right.
oh yeah, we've created an algorithm for our marketing budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. If so, the like countries and things should probably get a marketing team that does the counter of that, because you don't want
Right.
people you don't want people traveling to your country to see like the worst things that happen in your
Yeah,
country.
exactly.
But yeah. All right. Well, I think we did it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one thing I need to promote.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing a live demo for free on YouTube for Etcher Studio. They make like sketchbooks and stuff, but they got pretty big following, and they want me to do a live demo for them, and then in like a month or so I'll be doing a little mini workshop for them as well online. So if you guys want to check that out and come hassle me while I try to paint live, you feel free to go onto the Etcher YouTube channel and sign up for it there. You get notified for when that starts, which will be Monday morning, so
Nice.
this should be out by then.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Go do the course. Or,
Or just watch me paint for free.
yeah. Yeah. I was gonna make fun of them, Sergio. So that was like a or B square, but I was trying to figure out something better than that. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
All right.
Yeah. Well, this has been Waiting Dry. If you're still listening, fuck off.